Welcome to JT's Vintage Card Room, hosted by me, JT. First of all, I want to thank my man John Mangini, my paisan, for the shout out on his video. That means so much to me. Certainly one of my early watches when I first started with YouTube, and to get any kind of mention by the president, El Presidente, is certainly an honor and a privilege, and I do really appreciate that. I really do enjoy his channel. Today, I want to talk about my favorite post-war top set. I'm going to say tops because there's a couple Bowman sets I really love too, but my favorite post-war top set, I guess they're all post-war top sets, that's 1953 tops. I know 52 gets a lot of love. You know, certainly 54, 57 has its fans. 60, 65, 67 is I'm a big fan of 67. But when it's all said and done, to me, the 53 top set is by far and away the best. I remember going to a show as a young man. I was probably a teenager, really. And there was the artist that actually did the drawings had a booth set up there, and he had a picture of the Eddie Matthews card, as you know, it was for sale, and he had others, and I saw that, and I just thought that was amazing. It was pretty big. I want to say it was, you know, maybe like 3 feet by 5 feet, maybe not quite that big, maybe 2 by 4 feet, but it was a nice, really, you know, a piece of art. It really was a piece of art, and there's some nice little idiosyncrasies about the 53 top set. I'm going to show a bunch of Hall of Famers. I'm going to show some basic cards. I'm going to grab some right now. And I'll try to keep them in order. They probably won't be completely in order, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. I just want to show my love for the top set. I'm going to start off with some commons that I think are pretty interesting. Let's start with Bob Borkowski. To me, what I like about this card more than anything, so we can cut down on some of this glare, is the flagpole. I'm a big fan of the flagpole. I love the background. It's just a nice, clean card. For those of you who don't know 53 tops, if you have you are from the National League, your border on the bottom here will be black. If you're in the American League, it would be red. And this set is difficult to have in nice shape because of the chipping that shows on both the black and the red backgrounds. But I'm a big fan of that. And Ted Lepsio is another card that has that flagpole and the neat background of the stadium. Ted is a favorite of mine for no other reason than my friend Steve, who recently passed. I did talk about some cards I purchased from him long ago, and he actually played with Ted Lepsio, so I think that's pretty cool. And the fact that he's got the flagpole and the cool background makes me want to show that card. Then we have a couple of shameless promotions by Topps. There's the Topps gum in the background, right there. On this Sid Hudson card, notice the red bottom border, meaning he's from the American League. And here's another one with Topps showing their Topps gum logo right here. I love the buildings in the background too. Pretty cool card, this Willie Miranda. And the interesting mascot for the St. Louis Browns, also pretty neat. One other thing a lot of people don't realize about what's unique about the 53 top set is that there are a few cards, I picked out a couple, where the billboards in the back show the player's name. So here's Joe Rossi, and if you look at the top of the billboard, you'll see the last letter of Joe on the top with the orange, and the SI in yellow in the billboard in the background, right there. And there's a few cards like that. There's Joe Rossi, George Spencer. You can see the ER and the GE for his first name. Love the Giants hat. Billy Pierce. Same thing. The background, the White Sox emblem there is awesome. Really awesome. And Vern Benson. Just a couple of those cards where you could see the player's name in the billboard in the background, which I think is pretty neat. These are just a couple of cards I just happen to like. Jim Hearn. Just love that blood orange background, kind of a sunset background. You see a lot of the sunset cards in the pre-war, which is where I spend most of my time and energy. Cards like the E90-1s and the T206, where a lot of the caramel cards, the sunset backgrounds tend to have a premium, and I think this is a premium card just because of the way it looks. I love the way it looks. Same goes for Johnny Klippenstein. Just an interesting card. His face is a little odd looking, but I like the background. I like the Cubs emblem, and just a nice card. I like it. This is probably my favorite card in the set that is not worth a lot of money. I just think the nighttime card with the lights in the background shining, I just think this is absolutely spectacular. Definitely one of my favorite cards. 52 Tops, I think, has something similar, or it might be 51, and I forget who the player is. I will do a 51 and 52 Tops video. I have both sets and very nice shape, and I will bust that card out. But it's similar. It has the backgrounds with the lights in the back. I just love that. And of course, I didn't really mention the backs, but the backs all have trivia on the back, which is pretty neat, along with stats. It's just an all-around great set. I love everything about it. Here's another card that I really like with the yellow and the Reds banner. No one in particularly important, just a nice card. Here are a couple of high numbers that are particularly difficult. Johnny Padres, I believe it's his rookie card. Maybe I should back that up a little bit. That's a tough card to get in nice shape. If there wasn't so many grading issues in the seemingly fall of SGC, I'd probably get this graded at some point, but at this point, it's not in the cards. I think I'm kind of done grading for a while until things shake out. And then I have Junior Gilliam. I believe this is also his rookie card. Both of these cards are high numbers, which make them a little more difficult and hard to get in good shape. And then I have a couple of Hall of Famers that are not graded. I have some others that are, which I'll get to shortly. But here's Minnie Minoso. And one of my favorite cards from the set, Roy Campanella. Just love the smile. This is one of the cards I asked for Christmas one year when I was probably about 14 years old. I asked my parents for this card and the 1954 Jackie Robinson Topps card. And both were in my all-time favorite lists of cards. I just think this card is spectacular. When I was a kid, I took it out of its, I had the lucite holders, I guess you call them lucite. I took the card out, I dropped the holder, and it went into the card and created a dent, like right about here. It's not this card. I had since sold that card many years ago when I first bought my first card when I was in my very early 20s. So this card was part of the sale process, but it has been replaced, and I'm a big fan of the Roy. Roy is one of my favorite players to collect, so great card. Okay, now let's get to some Hall of Famers. We got Enos Slaughter. We have Early Win. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not in my usual spot. My office where I keep my cards is in the basement. My card room is in the basement. And with this Achilles surgery that I had on Tuesday, getting up and down the stairs is not exactly fun. I have a big giant cast on my leg. So I've been trying to stay on one floor, which means I'm spending all my time in my living room now. Here's Monty Irvin. This is a great card also. Just a spectacular image of him. This is a really nice shape for it's off center, but it's a nice card. It's really sharp. Sorry for the glare, guys. There's not much I could do about that here. This is one of the first cards I bought when I started getting back into the hobby in 2017. This is the Pee Wee Reese. It is also off center, but it's a 9 off center. How often do you see 9 off centers? It's just not a card, kind of a condition you see very often. Great image of Pee Wee. Harold, if you want to be formal. Again, back of the card. And we have the Big Cat, Johnny Mize. I was thinking of doing a 53 video for some time, and when Chris from Missouri and Mike Baseball Collector did their showcase showdown and it happened to be of 1953, I really felt inspired. I actually played the game along with them and enjoyed competing against them, even though they didn't know I was doing it, and it was kind of fun. Joe Black is not a Hall of Famer, but it's a great card, and I had this one in really nice shape, and I wanted to show it. We have Billy Martin. I'm not a Yankee fan, but man, that Yankee logo looks awesome on cards. It really does. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. I know even Yogi called himself not very attractive, and this is not an attractive card of him, in my opinion. The 52 is far worse. This is better than that. Maybe the 52 Bowman's is kind of okay. But yeah, this is, if you want to have the set, you got to have them all, and whether you like the card or not. And I'm not a big fan of this card, and I really dislike the 52 tops, but I had to get that for that set, so I have them both. Here's Dick Williams. It's a cool card. The background on that. George Kell, probably the worst Hall of Famer of all time. I don't know if anybody... It seems like his cards just barely get above common prices. I mean, he's someone everybody has because he's a Hall of Famer and they want to complete Hall of Fame runs, but his stats, I just don't get it. I don't know why he's in, but maybe one of you over there can enlighten me as what I'm missing. Spawn does not fall in that category. All-time leading winner for lefties, I believe. 363 in wins. Spawn, all-time great for sure. One of the best relievers of all time, Hoyt Wilhelm. One of these days I'd like to get his 52 tops. I think that's a really neat card. But that's a kind of a financial commitment, and it's not part of any set run. I have my 52 top set I have is just the first 5 series. I didn't bother with the 6th series. It's just too expensive to complete for a bunch of common cards. Obviously, there's a few in there that I like and I do have, which is like Campanella. But for the most part, I'm not terribly inspired to get it. But Wilhelm is one of the cards I'd like to get at some point. Here's the Kiner. Led the league in home runs 7 years in a row, I believe. Also quite the ladies' man, I understand. He dated some and married some of the most beautiful women in the world. I couldn't tell you who they were. I'm sure it's just a short Google search away. But there's Ralph. Chairman of the board, Whitey Ford. It's kind of odd image of Whitey Ford. Certainly nothing like his 51 Bowman rookie card. That's a beauty. But here's what it is. And let's get to that Matthews that I was telling you about. This is the card that's kind of started it all for me. When I went to that show, probably in the very early 80s, maybe late 70s, this was the image that was out there. And it's just a great card, him just looking up. Bit of a tough guy, Eddie Matthews, from what I understand. No one really wanted to mess with him. Here's another all-time great pitcher, Bob Feller. Rapid Robert. This might be the best Phil Rizzuto card. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I happen to like it a lot. I like the way it looks. This is a sneaky tough card. Hal Newhouser. High number. Tough to get in a high grade. This is a beautiful 6. I'm very fortunate to have gotten this before the pandemic, before these prices got kind of really high. I believe he won back-to-back Cy Youngs, or it might have been MVPs before Cy Youngs were around. Could be that. And I guess that leads us to the big 4 in the set. Number 1, rightfully so, Jackie Robinson. I love that bridge in the background. That is just spectacular. Great image of Jackie. This card, I really love the card. It is super, super sharp corners. The off-centering to the bottom certainly detracts, but I think it's a spectacular 4. Really enjoy having this one. Old Satchel Paige. I forget what grade this is. 8 OC. Probably would get a 4 today, right? I don't know about that. I think probably a 5, but certainly, I guess you could say 8 OC is pretty close to a 5. But who cares? It's an absolutely great card. And down to the final 2. My man, Willie Mays. As you know, I'm a big Mays guy. And this is also a card I got pre-pandemic. I think I paid maybe $1,000 for this card. And it's a very nice 5, very well centered all the way around. There's really not a lot of flaws. I think even if it was regraded today, it would still keep that 5. And last but not least, the Mick. This is another nice card, another well-centered 5. Not that the number really matters, but what a great image of Mick. Mick's got a lot of great cards. This is right up there. 52 Bowman, way, way, way up there. That might be my favorite. This is probably a very close second for me. But what a great card. And if I'm not mistaken, nope. The question, I thought this was the one that had the Iron Horse on the background, but it's not. This is the question on the back is about George Sisler and his 257 hits, but in a season, which Ichiro broke, I believe. But that's the 53 top set. Oh, one more. Not in the 53 top set, but equally awesome. And how great would it have been if this card was in the 53 top set? I pretty much cut this out of a auction booklet, and I don't remember who did it. I have a piece of paper behind it because the glare is awful without it. But that is just, would that be the 54 tops is spectacular, no doubt. But how great would this card be if this was his rookie card? I'm a big Johnston Cookie fan too, but this would be outstanding, truly outstanding. So I have this. I have it pinned to my wall in my office, and I almost forgot to take it down, and I'm glad I didn't, because I don't know how many of you saw that. Ever saw that before, and I don't really know where it's from. It was just in an auction booklet. I guess it was someone who painted it and was selling them. And I don't know who that was, but what a great image. So that's it for 53 tops. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, we're just trading paper for cardboard. Do it responsibly. But it's just paper for cardboard. Enjoy your day.